Hey there, I'm Aisha Formansky with Everthine Jewelry.
And I'm Lisa Newman Kelly here for Beachucation.com. And we have come together in this introduction to soldering series to teach you all kinds of soldering stuff. And then this episode, we are going to make a chain.
Super fun and sometimes can be tedious. Let's be honest. So this was the first project that I was taught when I went to jewelry smithing school back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. And it's a great, great way to practice patience and this very kind of small work. Right?
Yes, patience was our number one in our golden rules. And remember, this is a series. If you haven't watched those beginning classes, jump on over there. We kind of walk you through to this point. But in there, we talk about the golden rules. The metal has to be touching. The metal has to be clean. You need to be patient and safety.
Of course.
Of course.
In this class, we're going to use a blazer torch because we need that small, specific flame to solder these jump rings close.
Little pointy, yeah.
And last but not least, take your time to close these jump rings. And if you need practice closing those jump rings, we have a couple classes to refer you to. We have the beginning chainmail class.
Yeah, over on Beachucation.com. It's a chainmail class, but for chainmail to succeed, your jump rings have to be super closed. So Colin goes over how to close jump rings really well. It's the first step. It's a really cool class. Or we have a product video on closing jump rings. But again, that's going to be key, is to get that nice and shut.
Here I have the chain resting on the kiln brick. I have a T-pin just anchoring the chain down at the end so that if I need to pull or adjust any of the jump rings, it won't move too much.
Cool.
Yep. And then here on the charcoal block, I have teeny tiny, these are smaller than normal.
Yeah, I see.
Hard solder pallions. We're doing that because the kiln brick has all these little pock marks and holes in them. And these little pallions are so small, I feel like they're all just gonna fall in those holes. So
yeah,
that's why we're bringing that in. I use a Sharpie marker or felt marker to put a little dot on, exactly where the seam is. Because the sterling silver, when the jump ring is closed, it's kind of hard to find the seam. And once we put the flux on, it's gonna be even more of a challenge. The second thing I've done is, you'll notice here, you notice that like every other link, I have them facing us, right?
Like straight on.
Like straight on. And then the ones that are adjacent on the back here, I have them all laying the same way. And I'm doing this because, and it's putsy. It's really putsy.
It is putsy.
Because once we flux and we start to heat stuff, we're most likely going to lose track of where the seams are. But you know that all of these ones are right in front facing us. Yep, and all of these ones are pointing to the back.
Good one.
So if you need to solder blind, you could.
I'm going to blindfold you and test that.
I think we'll start with just soldering this section. I'm not going to go ahead and adjust the whole length of it. Let's do like 1/3 and 1/3 and 1/3.
Okay.
I think that'll be a good way to go about it. Let me show you the part where we just melt a pallion into a little sphere and pick it up with the solder pick.
Yeah.
Because that's a good thing to practice. I am going to spray a little bit of flux on the solder. It's just going to, doesn't hurt and always helps. All right, let's go for this one here.
You just go for it. Just hit it.
See it? It's so tiny.
And the reason we're showing it like this, because once we start pick soldering on the chain, we're not going to be able to show you picking it up. We want to be pretty zoomed in. So we'll be doing that part a little off camera.
And just start by applying some flux to that section of the chain. We can still see those Sharpie marks through the
Yeah, that's cool.
Cuprinol, which is very helpful.
You still have your little guy there.
I do.
So you want a really pointy torch for this.
That T-pin is stealing some of my heat. There we go. Going back off camera to grab another little pallium.
I do recommend, I imagine, doing this with fairly heavy gauge jump rings so you don't lose
Yes.
them.
Yes.
What are these, 18 we decided?
These are 18 gauge. 6mm ID. Go in right up to the seam and deliver that little solder. Did you see that one went to the right? So let's do it again.
You really have to concentrate on not melting the one next to it, huh?
You'll notice too, I can't talk while I deliver
Yes,
the
she
solder.
has to breathe.
This is very precise work.
And she's also bracing her hand, what you guys can't see, on the outside of the table, just to the right of the brick. So she's not free flying and shaking. You'll also notice that she makes it look really easy. That's cool. Really nice.
All right. Let's continue soldering the rest of the chain.
What's happening with those two pins?
Oh yeah, so I have the chain kind of suspended. It's not suspended because it's laying on the kiln brick, but I had it laying down and I was trying to put the solder seams so that I could see them with my tweezer. By the way, this tweezer is wonderful for this. And it was just flipping around and rolling around. So I pinned one end down and then pulled it taut with a little tension and pinned the other end. And then when I went to rotate and...
Everybody's staying.
Yeah, everybody's chill now.
That's cool.
Yeah. So let's keep going. Do you have any questions before I start?
No.
Cool.
Wow. Well done. I was thinking while you were doing that, I hope the torch doesn't run out of gas. So if you guys are doing a project like this where the flame is on for quite a bit of time, just make sure you top it off before you jump in. Let me zoom in. Looks good.
You know, a project like this can seem pretty tedious,
Yeah.
but the practice is really, really good. And actually, the rhythm kind of does get you in this little bit of a little meditative kind of cool thing. So
I like it. Off to the pickle?
off to the pickle. The chain is fresh out of the pickle pot. Here it is.
Nice.
Yeah, turned out pretty well. So of course you'd want to go and check your solder seams
Yeah.
and go back and re-solder any that didn't successfully get soldered closed, right? It looks pretty good.
It's cute.
So I was thinking that I would show them how to make the circle links into ovals.
Ooh.
Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
So you could we could make every circle into an oval. Or we could do every other. What
Let's
do you
do
think?
every other.
All right, every other. So this is pretty simple. We're going to use round nose pliers. And the way that I do it is I just place the handles of this plier so long, I'm like, get under here. Okay, place the jaws of the round nose.
Because the metal's really soft.
Super soft, yeah. Inside your link, and then pull apart. Right, and I'm not using all of my strength, you know. This is also going to really test the strength of your solder seams, right?
Yeah.
Just like that. Let's do a few more.
That's fun.
I'm going to try to put the solder seam on the side, but it's not that important.
Cool.
Let's see here. Right?
That's nice, yeah. So I would throw that in the tumbler when it's done, would you?
Yeah, you could throw this in the tumbler. I would recommend binding it up a little bit before you put it in the tumbler.
Oh, so it doesn't get all tangled?
So it doesn't get tangled. And the way that you would do that is you could take a piece of scrap wire. And kind of just thread through maybe every other link.
Good one, yeah. And you could use a ready-made clasp. You could make a clasp. Nice, simple,
Yeah.
easy. I know you guys know how to do that.
Well, and handmade clasps look so beautiful on handmade chain. There they do. So I went through every other. Right?
Yeah, I like it, but you're not making it too tight, so
No.
you want the,
Yeah, I want the shot to still be able to get
yeah.
around.
Cool.
So this is a great way to tumble chain.
Nice. Here's the chain out of the tumbler. Oh my gosh, Aisha, it looks so cute.
It's really pretty, and look how it smooths over all those solder joints.
I know, it kind of hides them. So I have made just a super simple clasp on here, a hook and eye clasp, and it's a basic chain, but what an awesome exercise.
Yeah, this looks great.